Final Stand Studios. Okay, buckle up, folks. We have an interesting one here. This is Elon Musk at CPAC. And I've already seen a little bit of this. It's unhinged, as you might expect. CPAC, of course, would be unhinged anyway, being a conservative, MAGA conference. But Jesus Christ, let's get into this. Well, this
Man, that is a big crowd. And they are not here.
But look at this absolute clown show. A lot of people have been speculating about whether or not Elon Musk is high here, and what he's high on. I think he takes a lot of ketamine for his weird fucking brain. I don't know if that's why he's acting like this. He's a very, very weird guy. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what's going on here. It could just be mental illness for all I know, but because he always seems to be acting crazy. But and really, he's probably a psychopath or a sociopath, because how do you not, maybe it's part of being autistic, but how do you not get embarrassed by this stuff? How do you never feel shame for the goofiness that emits from your every pore,
Stay up for 1 second. Hey, guys. We've got one more.
What is going on here with this goofy neck, this hat that he won't take off? I'm gonna have to start incorporating the hat into my cartoons. What the fuck?
One more surprise, in case this wasn't enough. I'm gonna let Elon do it. Who else is here?
President Milei has a gift for me.
Javier Milei from Argentina. You guys know who that is, right?
Yeah, the con man lunatic from Argentina that's also selling meme coins. You guys know that guy, right? You guys know. Yeah.
Let me bring him out.
Yeah.
Now we got the chainsaw. It's a metaphor for cutting the budget, for slashing programs. How juvenile do you have to be to get excited about a chainsaw? I thought this about Elon Musk when he had that flamethrower at Joe Rogan's podcast too. It's like, come on, man, you're 50 years old and you're that excited about a flamethrower. Flamethrowers aren't exactly new technology, Elon. This fucking idiot acted like he invented it.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy.
I think if I liked this guy, I'd be feeling secondhand embarrassment for him. But because I hate him, this just makes me feel so good. Watching him act like a total fucking lunatic.
Chainsaw!
Even these two are like, what's he doing? Has he finally lost it? What's it?
All right.
I love it. Mr. President, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Nice to meet you. I love it. We love it. We love it.
All right.
They told me to put this right.
Where should we put it?
They want it right here.
All right, great.
So doesn't Malay have like a country to run or something? What is he doing wasting his time going to this shit show, right?
A little stage prop.
It's like Republicans love to say, "Oh, Biden didn't do anything." Meanwhile, their president is golfing or riding around a racetrack like a 8-year-old Make-A-Wish boy having his wish fulfilled. Like, give me a break. And they have the nerve to say that all these employees, all these federal employees that they're getting rid of are waste. Motherfucker, you're waste. You're a waste of fucking space. You're a waste of air.
All of you guys too.
Looks like Elon should get a girdle or something. You know, his little man titties are popping out. His little belly's popping out. He's got his shirt tucked in because he's really trying to keep it all together. It's crazy to me. Like, dude, you're worth so much money. You can't be like all the other fake, ridiculous billionaires and just take steroids, you know, and fat. They've got drugs that burn fat now, you know. Get on Ozempic, get on some steroids. You'll look just like fucking Jeff Bezos.
Thanks, guys.
Have a seat.
I know you got to work out too, but
So,
That was something.
I am become meme.
it's so crazy to me that there are so many women out there that want to breed with this fucking loser. Like, god damn.
I'm living the meme. It's like there's living the dream and there's living the meme, and it's pretty much what's happening, you know.
You're like, I think you're bigger
I
than
mean, Doge started out as a meme. Think about it.
This guy is so fucking cringe.
And now it's real. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
But it's cool.
Let me ask you this. A year ago, if someone had told you you'd be at CPAC and working with the president.
Just imagine this guy in any sort of social setting. Imagine you didn't know who Elon Musk was. You know, Elon Musk wasn't a famous guy. You're at a party, and this deranged weirdo might be the perfect way to describe him, walks in. You know, the last thing you'd be thinking is, wow, this guy's a genius. It's so insane.
To absolutely shred the government, the swamp, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Would you ever believe that?
So if the government is the swamp and Republicans control the government about half the time, I mean, you guys had it from 2001 to 2009, and then from 2017 to 2021, and then you guys have it again. Like, I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. All these government programs and things that you guys are slashing, a lot of that stuff was passed by Republican Congress. You know? And you think draining the swamp is going to involve putting a bunch of billionaire oligarchs that are interested only in propagating their own wealth? You think that's going to drain the swamp? I mean, it's such a harebrained narrative. It is so insane. The fact of the matter is, there's two sides in the world. There's the rich and powerful, and there's the rest of us. That's it. They'll try to distract you with all sorts of bullshit, right? They'll make the argument about trans bathrooms and trans athletes and things that really don't matter to divide us. Because the fact is, we're all being fucked right now by guys like Elon Musk and this guy, this no-name conservative host guy. You gotta wake up, people.
No.
No. Me neither.
But it's cool.
Drain the swamp. You know, drain the swamp to them is tax cuts for the rich and cutting social programs that poor people and average everyday Americans rely on. That's what draining the swamp is to them. And firing thousands of federal, I mean, I don't know how many they're going to end up losing when this is all said and done, but thousands of federal employees for no reason. Just because you'd rather pocket that money. Oh, we don't need the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. We don't need Regulation? Yeah, just let them dump all their chemicals into the rivers. We don't need national parks. Fuck that. We can just make it all private land, and then if someone wants to go enjoy nature, they can go pay some rich asshole a couple $100 a night. You see what they're doing here? You see what they're doing? They want to privatize education. What does that mean exactly? It means that normal people that can't afford to put their kids through private school are shit out of luck. It's that simple. And look, I don't even have kids, but every single person should want a good education for children because children are the future. I know that sounds corny. I know that's like a Hallmark card bullshit thing. It's obviously true. It's obviously true. Things are just going to continue to get worse if middle class, everyday people are uneducated and the only people getting educated are the wealthy. You think that's going to serve the rest of us very well? It's already bad enough. MAGA already doesn't even understand how the government works. You know, there's clips abound on YouTube of these MAGA idiots being asked basic questions about our government. You know, what are the three branches? This is like the most simple. They teach you this shit in elementary school. And a lot of these people don't know. You don't know the three branches of government? You don't know like the most basic foundation of how our government is structured? So if they can't even list the three branches, they definitely don't understand the checks and balances. They definitely don't understand that the legislative branch is supposed to be the branch that passes laws and creates policy, right? And the executive branch is supposed to carry out that policy and enforce that policy, you know, and be the commander-in-chief in wartime and whatnot. They don't understand the role of the courts. You look at the tweets from J.D. Vance and Trump and all these Republican dipshits talking about the courts can't tell the president how to... Actually, they can. That's exactly why we have courts. That's exactly what the courts are for. It's called the judicial branch, and it's there for a reason, right? It's a check and balance on not only the executive branch, but the legislative. The courts are basically supposed to say, hey, that's unconstitutional. You can't do that. But these courts, you know, the lower courts are striking some of this stuff down. But is the Supreme Court gonna? Probably not. They're all a bunch of Trump sycophants, right? This is the same Supreme Court that already ruled that that the president has basically total immunity and can do whatever the fuck he wants. You either care about the Constitution and you care about what the founding fathers created and you care about what so many of our ancestors fought and died for. You either care about that or you don't. It's really that simple. If you're siding with Trump at this late date, then you don't care about the Constitution, right? And you're basically a traitor to America.
This is awesome. And I just want to say, thanks for your support. I mean, you guys are, So, I mean, we're trying to get good things done, but also, have a good time doing it. And, and have, a sense of humor,
You guys don't have a sense of humor. If you honestly think you're funny, if right-wing comedians think... I mean, come on, dude. We all saw the clip from The New Norm, your guys' big Twitter right-wing cartoon. It was god-awful. When have Republicans ever been funny? When have conservatives ever been funny? You guys aren't funny. You guys are fun to laugh at. No one's laughing with you. The fact that some redneck fat piece of shit racist thinks he's funny is hilarious. A big part of being funny is being smart, right? I mean, that's where wit comes from. It's not funny to just be like, da da da, stupid libtards. Yeah, let's go, Brandon. Da da da. I know you think that's funny, but it's just fucking retarded.
So, I mean, the sort of the left wanted to make comedy illegal, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you can't.
Oh, in what way? In what way? Give me an example of the left trying to make comedy illegal, you fucking moron. Meanwhile, your president is suing CBS because they edited an interview in a very standard way, standard practice for a news network to edit interviews like that. Something that Fox News has done a bunch with you, Trump. He's suing the Des Moines Register over a poll. Wrap your head around that. You won't ever hear Republicans talk about that, by the way, because there's really no defense of it. I'd love to hear the defense of that. You're suing a newspaper because they published a poll you disagree with. Okay.
Can't make fun of anything. So then it's like, comedy sucks.
But you can't give us an example of, you know, I guess the example they would give is, well, we called Puerto Rico a island of garbage and there was blowback. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to say offensive things, the whole point is you have to be ready to offend people. You can't say offensive things and then be all indignant that people are offended. By the way, no one did anything to Tony Hinchcliffe. Tony Hinchcliffe didn't lose any opportunities after that I know of. And even if he did, I mean, if you're talking about private companies, are you telling me Fox News would keep someone like me on their network that's talking shit about Trump? Give me a break, man. You guys are so hypocritical. You sit around and talk about free speech and cancel culture, and then your fucking orange master is suing a newspaper over a poll he didn't like. You guys won't ever talk about what's actually going on or the actual substance because you'll just get your ass kicked on the facts, right? The facts don't align with anything that Elon Musk is saying or doing. He wants you to believe that there are tens of millions of people out there of dead people out there that are receiving Social Security payments. Give me a fucking break, dude. But he thinks you're stupid. And honestly, if you're still listening to him at this point and you don't hate him yet, I think you probably are stupid.
It's like nothing's funny. You can't make fun of anything. It's like legalize comedy. Yeah. Legalize comedy.
And we've shifted the entire culture in just the last.
Legalize what comedy? What comedy are you guys producing, for one thing? What comedy is coming out of the right? Oh, wait. Gutfeld? I mean, you acting like a fucking dipshit on stage, is that the comedy that is being leaked? What are you talking about? I'm so sick of people hiding behind this false cancel culture bullshit. The only person I can think of that was canceled for something stupid was Shane Gillis, right? He lost SNL over doing an Asian accent and Asian jokes. Big whoop, right? He shouldn't have lost SNL for that. Lorne Michaels should have had some more backbone. But the fact of the matter is, Shane Gillis is doing better than ever. Shane Gillis is doing better than he would have been doing if he was on SNL. And then they had him come host SNL as a host. Host as a host, that's redundant. So you have to come with the receipts, man. If you're gonna sit around and say that the comedy is dead and comedy was outlawed and blah blah blah, you have to come with receipts, right? You know, NBC is fully within their rights to fire Shane Gillis if they don't like something he said. Just like you fire people all the time. Do you think Elon Musk is going to keep some Twitter employee or some Tesla employee around if they're talking shit about him online? Or if they're talking shit about the right-wing movement, or if they're talking shit about Trump? Rules for thee and not for me. That's what I'm hearing.
Last few months, the whole culture of this country has shifted dramatically just because of that election.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I said this in my earlier video, the culture has not shifted dramatically just because of that election, right? Trump won because of inflation and because he was able to trick a lot of people into believing that inflation had something to do with Biden and the Biden administration. Right? That obviously is not true. Inflation is just going up since Trump got elected. People aren't happy about that. People are actually starting to wake up. You know, people don't want you to cut the Department of Education. People don't really like the idea of you dipping your fingers into their Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security. It's not a very palatable idea for most Americans. It's not a very palatable idea for most Americans that the elected president is, or the president, I guess I should say, is calling himself a king and changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico, which has been named that for the last 400 years, to the Gulf of America in this petty little dick, typical Donald Trump move, right? It's like, it's how insecure could you be that you got to rename the Gulf of Mexico? Just get a penile enlargement surgery, dude. I think that would be a little bit easier than changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico. Actually, maybe it wouldn't. Maybe that, you know. He wants to put his face on Mount Rushmore. Like, what are we talking about here? This is absurd. If any president, even a great president, was saying they wanted to put their face on Mount Rushmore, I'd be like, ugh, that's gross. It's really not for you to decide, right? 40 years down the line, 50 years down the line, if you really were a great president and everyone still thinks of you so fondly, let them make that decision. But it's pretty gross to be like, yeah, I'll put my face up there. It's pretty gross. But Republicans will defend it. They'll defend anything. At this point, I think they want a king. They want a Christian nation. You know, the hardcore MAGAs.
You know, freedom of speech, having fun again. It seems like we should have a good time, you know.
Oh, so the Democrats are the fun police. No one was allowed to have fun under Joe Biden. And now that everyone's having their, you know, all these government employees are losing their jobs and you guys are going to cut a bunch of social programs. You're going to cut, you know, I'll tell you that the kids, and I grew up with kids like this that, you know, they didn't have a lot of money and their only real meals that they would get were at school, part of the free school lunch program. But it's so fun taking food out of the mouths of kids, isn't it? You know who's not going to be having fun? Those kids, man. Does Elon Musk know what it feels like to be hungry? I don't think so, judging by his fat little gut, but seriously, like, that's fun to you? Taking food out of the mouths of babies, that's fun to you? I mean, come on, dude. You're a piece of shit.
It's a great time. Everybody in this place is so excited. And when you talk to conservatives, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
And everybody feels this great sense of relief because we were going to hell for about 4 years. It really felt bad.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I'm going to blow my brains out. They are so hyperbolic. How were we going to hell? How? Meanwhile, you got Donald Trump over here destroying NATO, siding with a fucking dictator in Putin, abandoning all of our allies, whether you're talking about our allies in Europe, whether you're talking about Canada, Mexico. He's trading in all of our allies for our enemies. And these guys right here, I guess I'm just going to call them evil. It's hard for me to believe that they're actually this stupid. I do believe that there are a lot of Americans that are this stupid, but I think guys like this are just pure evil, man.
Especially toward the end, it felt really bad.
Yeah, I thought we were sort of heading for a point of no return, really.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, a point. Yeah, we were heading for a point. You know, when we lose an election, we concede. There's a peaceful transfer of power. What does that say? When you guys lose an election, you try an insurrection. When you guys lose an election, you storm the Capitol. And then afterwards, you make excuses. Well, the FBI had nothing to do with that. You could say whatever the fuck you want. Donald Trump stood there on a podium in front of the White House and told them to go to the Capitol building. You really can't make this shit up. The problem with you being so stupid about who you voted for and who you support is that there are real consequences. And it might take a while for you to feel the real consequences, but there are real consequences. Like World War III type consequences, like the collapse of our economy type consequences, like you fucked over the future of your children and grandchildren kind of consequences because you're a racist piece of shit that cares more about hating people than common sense policy issues. Give me a fucking break.
Until that's why it was so essential that President Trump win the election, and that
So essential that you cheated and you illegally offered millions of dollars for people to vote for Trump. But the big thing is you guys cheated. 15 million Democrats supposedly didn't vote. Really? Yeah, I don't buy it. We'll figure it out. There will be a trial at some point, and you'll have to answer for your crimes against America. You son of a bitch.
that there be a Republican majority in the House and Senate, which, thanks to you, that has been accomplished.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you, one of the biggest questions I have for you is, you've been, politically, you weren't really on one side or the other for a long time. You're a businessman. A lot of people, they stay away from it. Now you're on a side, and you've chosen a side. You're sitting here in a MAGA hat. What's it, how did that happen? What was the moment?
It's like, dark Gothic MAGA.
That's a good one.
Imagine being so fucking lame that you think calling yourself dark Gothic MAGA is cool.
What was there a specific moment? Was there a moment that it all changed?
I mean, this is like an anime kid, right? Like dressing up with his little fucking mall shop samurai sword. Oh my God, it's so dorky. It's so dorky. And look, I'm fine with people being dorky as long as you're not the richest man in the world trying to destroy our country. I won't say anything, right? You go ahead and be a dork. But fuck this guy. This, it's open season on Elon.
Yeah, when I realized I was a fool. But no, I was, I guess, yeah, I mean, I'd say I was politically neutral for quite a while. Leaning a little Democrat.
How do you go from that to this?
Yeah, no.
How does that happen?
Well,
did they go crazy?
Yeah, they did work. They did go crazy. Yeah,
Name the policy. Name the policy where Democrats went crazy. You guys love to show a video of some crazy, pink-haired chick in Oregon saying something like defund the police, but actually name the policies that Democratic politicians put forward that are so crazy, right? Come with the receipts. Come with the receipts. I'm so sick of this bullshit. You guys say something vague. Oh, they're crazy. Oh, they've lost. Oh, comedy's illegal now. You say some vague bullshit that isn't true at all, and you have no receipts, and your dumbass fans eat it up.
They went crazy.
No, I mean, the whole cancel culture and it's trying to...
And as I already said, the only person I can think of that got canceled was Shane Gillis. And he was on Bud Light Super Bowl commercials, okay? So fucking spare me.
Stop freedom of speech and infringe upon people's personal freedoms.
What? What personal freedoms? Do you care to elaborate? You guys are the ones infringing on personal freedoms. You guys are the ones that want to ban, well, you already did, ban abortion. At least you got rid of Roe v. Wade. You guys want to ban gay marriage. You probably want to ban transgenderism altogether. Name the freedoms that the Democrats are trying to take away. You guys want a Christian nation, which is antithetical to freedom of religion. this country is not supposed to be religious at all. It's supposed to be a secular government. What are you talking about? What do we want to ban, dude? They act like Barack Obama and Joe Biden tried to ban Christianity or something. Like, what are you smoking?
You know, they just want state control of what you say. They want to, you know, take away your guns.
No examples. You know who's going to take away their guns? Trump. That's what authoritarian dictators do. And the funny part is, even after 30 years of, you know, or 40 years of crying about how the Democrats want to take their guns, it's going to be a Republican. And they're not going to say shit about it. They'll probably justify it. You know? These are the same people that claim to be Christian, but they support Donald Trump. How is Donald Trump Christian in any way, right? He got mild criticism from a very brave Christian bishop, or I don't know, maybe she was a priest. I don't know what she was, a pastor. And then he was tweeting shit like, she should be deported. It's like, dude, you are definitely not a Christian, okay? I know a little bit about Christianity, and Jesus would not be a fan. And you wouldn't be a fan of Jesus, right? Oh, he's poor. Never showers. You wouldn't be a fan of Jesus. You know, the Christian, these fundamentalist Christians that supposedly care about the family structure and this and that, they're okay with their president banging porn stars and being found liable for sexual assault. That's not very Christian. It's not very Christian to get divorced over and over and over again. You know, let's talk about Elon. It's not very Christian to have 13 kids with 6 different chicks and marry none of them. That's not very traditional or Christian. You people are full of shit. You people are full of shit.
And the reason I want to take away your guns, so like there's nothing you do to oppose them. So it's sort of like,
well, yeah, that's why Trump's going to take the guns. You notice the Democrats have never taken... Biden was in charge for 4 years, right? He didn't do any weird executive order shit to try to take your guns. I don't know of any bills in Congress that have been presented by Democrats to take your guns. So again, you're just saying vague bullshit and not bringing any receipts, any evidence, any proof at all, but your people eat it up. Because critical thinking has gone by the wayside in this country. People believe anything. People want to believe certain things, right? I've heard Joe Rogan say that. When something was fact-checked to be wrong on his show, I've heard him say, oh, I wanted that to be true. It sounded fun. Like, you know, you either care about the truth or you don't, man. You can't sit around and be like, you know, the Republicans are the party of facts over feelings, and then just like ignore the truth. That doesn't make any sense. But your people buy it.
you know, I just like we just need to restore the fundamental elements of what made America great, which is freedom and opportunity.
We're seeing a lot of these freedoms disappearing in the West. It's not just about America. We're all watching Europe and knowing that they're about 50, 100 years ahead of us, right? Because they got an early start. And we're watching how they're devolving. And you're trying to save it from happening here.
They're 1,500 years? That's not how that works, buddy. They're not 1,500 years ahead of us. What are you talking about? What are you, in what way are they, what? This makes no, so what? You think that whatever movement is going on in Europe, that won't happen here for another 1,500 years. Do you guys hear how stupid this is? You realize European culture and American culture have a lot of influence on each other. I mean, we consume a lot of the same media. We're on the same internet talking to each other. What is this 1,500 year lag that you're talking about? That's just, and I know I'm kind of digressing, but come on, man. That is such stupid bullshit from some guy that clearly doesn't know anything about history. I mean, how did they get a 1500-year head start on us? We were Europeans. We came over here from Europe with their culture, and over the last 300 years, there's been a little bit of a divergence, but actually in the last like 50 years, because of media and stuff, we've started to come closer back together. You know, this idea that because England as a nation dates back to Queen Boudica or Alfred the Great, right, in 600 AD, this idea that because of that, they're 1500 years ahead of us is so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. You would never hear a historian say something so stupid.
No, I mean, in Europe, they put people in prison for memes.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, that's insane.
And they're collapsing. I mean, this society it's a collapsing society. It feels that way.
Oh, it feels that way. This is what they do. They don't bring any evidence. It feels that way. It feels that they say crazy things. And they're, you know, it's an echo chamber. Everyone else repeats it. It bounces off of each. And by the time you know it, it's the talking point. It's something everyone's saying, even though it's not based in reality, right? In what way are they collapsing? And what, I mean, by that token, you could say we're collapsing. You know, by a lot of metrics, we're worse off than European nations. So what are you talking about, dude?
It feels like
France was nicer 50 years ago than it is today.
Yeah.
I don't think you can question that.
Yeah.
Well, you don't think, were you in France 50 years ago, dude? Dude that looks like he's probably 45? And were you in France, dude that is 50? How on earth could you say France was better 50 years ago? This is racism. What they mean to say is 50 years ago, there weren't brown people in France. Therefore, it was better. It's not based on any actual truth. It's not like this guy, you know, his father or grandfather was in France and no, they just know that there's a lot of immigrants in France, and immigrants, especially brown immigrants, is negative. We don't like brown. We're white nationalists. We're Nazis. We want Adolf Hitler to make a resurgence.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, really. Thanks. I love you too.
Yeah, you would never see. I mean, maybe you would, but come on. I would never be like, I love you to Joe Biden or George Soros. Can you imagine if George Soros was pulling the same bullshit that Elon Musk is pulling? Can you imagine? Not only would Republicans be absolutely going apeshit, but Democrats wouldn't be fans of it either. Because guess what? We're principled. We aren't in a cult. This isn't a cult of personality thing where we're all just going to back up our Lord and Savior Trump no matter what. Which, by the way, if you're religious, you should know that idolizing Trump is going to send your ass to hell.
I mean,
false idols and whatnot.
I really just wanted to do useful things, like, you know, basically build products, you know, provide products and services that are good, and that I wasn't really like that interested in being political. It just, like, there was at a certain point no choice.
All right. Well, I think you guys got the point. I mean, they're not going to say anything of substance. You want to provide good. You want to make a lot of money is what you want to do. You've never invented anything in your life. You're always a Johnny come lately on these things. You know, you bought into fucking Tesla. You bought into PayPal. You bought into Twitter. And you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You know, if you were born under different circumstances, this would not be happening. It'd be Peter Thiel sitting here or some other dipshit billionaire. But it wouldn't be you. Because you're not special, dude. You've never been special. I mean, maybe special ed. But you are not a good guy. And you're not a smart guy. Right? You're not this super genius that all these little pussy boys pretend you are. You're a fucking loser.